Assalamualaikum everyone. I hope all are staying healthy and fit. Welcome to another episode of All My Days with Khwaish, only on Let's Chat. Today's topic is all about women persona and entrepreneurship. This modern era has been a change for not only all the men but also the women out there. They are breaking the stereotype, which is a stigma in the society that women cannot be an entrepreneur. Today we have a guest who has not only changed the mindset of the youth, but also fast food chain has won the best burger in UAE for the community is none other than Dream Burger founder. I'm so fortunate, so honored to welcome her on my show and to know her persona and journey, Nadia Shah. Let's welcome her. Thank you so much, Miss Nada, to accept our invitation. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm really good.
And
How are
how is
you?
the things and how is the morning all about?
Alhamdulillah, very, very good.
Okay, so Miss Nadia, as you're aware that our podcast is all about your persona.
Mm-hmm.
So before we start our segment number one, I would
Mhm.
like to know more about yourself as a personality
Mm-hmm.
and how you've been into this surprise challenge of entrepreneur.
Okay. So I'm half English, half Pakistani. I was raised in Ireland, and I was always raised with the Islamic mindset. So being raised in a country outside of a Muslim country was always very, very difficult. But it enriched me a lot. And I was also surrounded by my dad, who is an amazing entrepreneur himself and business mind. So I had the pleasure of being brought to all of his restaurants from a very young age. So I've been around hospitality and F&B my entire life.
Wow, that's great. So Miss Nadia, we'll be moving to our segment number one, that is
Mm-hmm.
knowing about your persona with the youth.
Okay.
So my first question would be that what's the most inspiring about being entrepreneur, especially for a woman?
The most inspiring thing is just the belief in yourself to know that there's no limits and nobody is setting you aside, whether it's male or female. It's to everyone's own individual right to know and be able to believe in themselves that they can achieve whatever it is that they want.
So when you came to Dubai,
Mm-hmm.
because it won't be right to say that the challenges are not there,
Mm-hmm.
you do face some challenges
Yeah.
in the initially. So what are some of the challenges do you think as entrepreneur you face?
As an entrepreneur, some of the challenges are, it depends on your field, but I think everyone will come across doing something that you've never done before. There's always going to be challenges, and it's just about having the right mindset to always push through and make sure that you maintain that belief in yourself, to keep working on it, and also to look for support wherever it is that you feel like you're not strong. So when there is a challenge, there's always a solution. This is what I always say. There's no challenge without a solution. And there's multiple different options. It's just about figuring out what the solutions are, or different ways to approach it, and thinking outside of the box from just the standard. If you ever feel stuck, this is exactly when I say that you don't need to feel stuck because there's so much more that can still be done. Maybe you just need to ask some questions to other people around. Maybe you need some expert advice. Maybe you need people to support you in your network, or you need to reach out as well.
Well said. And I would like to know, Miss Nadia, that having said that, there will be someone who has inspired you.
Yeah.
And may I know who is that person and what have you learned so far from that particular person?
Definitely say it was my dad. As I said, I've been around his success my whole life. So he started from absolutely, well, basically nothing to being a multimillionaire actually, and he's done an amazing job. So that was the biggest inspiration. I'm seeing it every day, understanding how he's thinking, having like a business mindset towards everything. That's been a huge inspiration. But mainly like how he does his business, how he operates. It's always about giving. So when you give, you get. It's about taking care of all of his family and all those around him. So he always made sure to have. He brought our entire family from Pakistan to Ireland, wherever he moved to, everybody always gathered, and he's always supported everyone else around him. So he creates amazing opportunities for people, and I think that's like one of the nicest things that I enjoy about what I do is the opportunities that I create for others. We give them jobs, we educate, the training, and the personal relationship that you build as well.
Wow, I must meet him.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely, that's a great thing, which just now Miss Nadia has spoken that inspiration from your family is the biggest thing which we doesn't get much now because of modern era because
Mhm.
people are tend to be busy with their so much of technology these days. So Miss Nadia, about being inspired also,
Mhm.
what is your advice to the women out there, those who are thinking to start up their business and having said that, what all steps they should think about?
Yeah, I think the first thing is for any woman is to know what you're looking for. So for me, one of the challenges as well, which I didn't mention, was becoming a mom at the same time as starting my own business. So I've always worked, but having your own business means you're another baby. So having two at the same time, is it your family, like what your priorities are in your life? There's no right or wrong answer. Whatever it is for you, that is the correct answer. And then it's about prioritizing in that order your life so that you can be happy with whatever it is. And in terms of the business side, what you would need to consider is you have to be passionate about what you're doing. You have to really want it. Starting something because maybe it's just something to do or a hobby is fine, but you should love that hobby if it's a hobby and you really want to take it forward. You should love what you do. You should really, really care about it because it's not about money. When you put the passion behind whatever it is that you do, it becomes easy to do and you want to do it even if you struggle with the financial side of it. So I feel like when it's something that you really care about, you're always going to succeed.
Wow, amazing. Having said that, you look so positive when you say
Mhm.
so much of information. But there's a phase coming our life that we become tend to be negative.
Mhm.
We deal with so much of trolling or negative stigma. How do
Mhm.
you cope up such challenges? Some thoughts, some comments.
Yeah, I think sometimes I think our biggest the negativity that really comes is through ourselves. I actually think that in our own minds, we're probably the most negative to ourselves than anyone else. It's very rare that somebody else is going to come and say, hey, you're not doing a good job or, put you
Yeah.
down. I think like it's more how you receive it. Even if somebody does say something negative, it's only if you decide that, okay, well, now I'm going to be affected by that. So with any negativity, it's really important to work on yourself and whether that's with God or through some other format that you constantly speak positively to yourself. Like anytime you're feeling like, oh, I can't do this, you have to be able to pick yourself up and say, no, I definitely can. Like your words are super important. So I don't say I hope because hope is believing partly that I may not be able to do it. So I never
Yeah.
say hope, I say I will. And I use my words really carefully with what I say now. And that's something that in the beginning when I started, I realized I was probably struggling with, and I made sure I changed my language because it really makes a difference every day.
Yeah, that's true because in Islam also says that the tongue is the biggest enemy,
Yes.
and this tongue can be your best friend also.
Yeah.
Having said that, you could have some of your circle who always try to demotivate you.
Okay.
Sometimes they will let you down, but
Mhm.
otherwise there are some people who just boost you up.
Yeah.
So, what is your call on this youth? Because nowadays trolling is very common in the people
Mhm.
comments, especially in the circle.
Yeah.
So, how do you handle such
I
personal?
keep to myself in my life anybody who's putting me down because like I said, you have a choice. You can listen to them or you cannot listen to them. And if they're not going to be part of your success, right? So completely remove it. This is something that I don't have any space to tolerate or to allow to affect me. And I make sure I surround myself with the people that are positive. It's really important to have a good circle. And if your current circle is not the circle that's going to support you in your work, then you find a new circle
Hmm.
because it's also a new space that you may be stepping into and you don't have that circle. So that's why I said expert advice, support, that new network you need to build. So I built a completely new network for my business because I didn't have it existing. I wasn't coming from that field specifically. So I had to develop new relationships, new people who are interested in the same thing as me, who are doing the same things, who are aligned with me in terms of business, mentally, like they have their own businesses, they're putting things together. So you really like learn so much from them, and it's invaluable to make sure that you build that. So I would start every business with growing and making sure that I start networking with that community as well.
Perfect. Well said, Nadia. With this note, I would like to know employees are very important, as you said. Teaching them, growing, make them
Yeah.
up. In your hospitality, where you have started your drip burger, it was not an easy.
Yeah.
You had some of the failure also before, which you have wind up, and then to start again, it's not so easy. So, how you made up now in a successful 2 branch in Dubai, and what's the customer review on that?
Well, the customers really love they really love our burger brand. And that's what made the difference for us is the support from our customers because they're the reason we got recognition is they voted for us for best burgers in the UAE on Virgin Radio. So that really amplified everything. So the reviews are great. I want to always say thank you to them because they're the ones who supported us through everything, right? It's really important to make sure that we acknowledge and appreciate those who have been there for us from the beginning and who keep on embodying what we're putting out there and that support us. So when I'm at home and not physically there, that they're still running the show and keeping up the standards. So it's your employees, your relationship with them is extremely important.
Wow. Having said that, she's giving a positive vibe, to be honest, really. And the negativity is ending up, I can see soon. So, having said that, you're a mother. To look after the kids is not so easy.
Yeah.
And especially to have such a fast food chain is also not so easy. What are some of the similarity you can say to handle both of them?
Yeah, so this was actually my biggest challenge because I was doing everything myself for the first while, and it took me too long to decide to hire people that are like in managerial roles. That's what I mean. I obviously had staff, but not to the level where I could step back. So one of my challenges was I felt like I didn't have enough time to do both, look after my daughter and be a mom the way I wanted to be, and also to look after my business the way I wanted to as well. So I had to realign everything. So I went through a bit of a tough period, and I decided it was enough, and I needed to make a change. And as soon as I made the change um, to invest and hire people that were going to be able to do the job and give them that time, I got my life back a little bit. So it's definitely build a team, okay, a team that can support you. There is no better investment than doing that because you can't do everything alone. You always need people there to support you. And it's very important to hire the right person, but as soon as you do find and hire the right people, they're going to be there for you all the time, So you're always a bit scared to spend that much on having somebody there, or a bit reluctant to, because it's a big spend, right?
Yeah.
And to replace yourself, well, to replace me, it costs a lot to find somebody on a good level.
Yeah.
So I'm not outside of my business. I'm still very much inside, but you need the support of people who can execute that. And don't be afraid to spend the money. You just have to know what works for your business in terms of the budget that you have and where you feel like you can afford it, because they will consistently build the business when you're not around. They will consistently grow things even when you're not around, and you can take a rest and have more space in your mind to be more creative and to think more about your business in different ways that no one else will. Somebody there right behind you who's your number two that can support you the way you need to be so that you can drive the business from the front instead of inside.
Well said. That's what all about the personality persona, because Miss Nadia has said something very important, that you should know whom you're choosing. Selection is the choice which you made and you should not regret.
Yeah.
Once your selection is done, make sure that it is invested properly, because at the end it's your investment.
Yeah.
Return should be well said enough. So Miss Nadia, saying that life is not so easy because being a woman, people say that a woman, what she can do, because all this business venture is carried by the men's stigma. So what kind of stigma did you encounter in the beginning when you started about it?
I wouldn't say in my particular business at the moment, but working as a woman in a high position, I was working with our family business. Um, one, because I was a bit younger, and two, also because I was a woman. So sometimes when we had to deal with, they sometimes just wanted to do the meeting with him, or when my dad was always sending me to go and handle the meetings by myself, it was just me and them, and they didn't feel that it's a place for women in business. And some other part of it just comes from the whole male female thing. So yeah, I mean, I definitely felt that they were not comfortable or didn't want or didn't really respect a woman in business. So that was the main thing. Actually, recently I got a recognition for with Caterer Middle East for women to watch in F&B.
Wow.
So I think this is my first time being appreciated in a female category, to be separated, but and it does feel really special. But I think I would be just as inspired and proud if I was on a males list as well or a mixed list. So I know that it's nice to separate women and recognize us within our own category. It gives more opportunity to be recognized. But I feel like we're just on par as well. And we should also be recognized within the same categories, maybe just a little bit higher up. So um, I do appreciate it. It's very nice. It's great to give women more opportunities to be seen and also recognized. And it's a great uplifting thing because you'd be surprised at how many women are out there doing amazing things that are not even taken note of at all.
So with that note, I would say any one of them, Miss Nadia, you miss a lot during your successful time, and who is that person, and what do you want to say to that person?
Miss my grandmother. She is one of the few people, alhamdulillah, that we've lost in our lives, and I would definitely want to share all of this with her because uh, we lost her when we were young and we were not in a professional side, and also I wasn't married at that same time, and I would have loved for her to have been there at our wedding and to see all of these things that we're doing and also to be here with my granddaughter, and she would have been so happy.
Losing your loved one is very hard, but then it says that Allah Almighty knows what's the best for us.
Yeah.
Everyone has to go one day. Kullu
Yeah.
nafsin dha'iqatul maut. So that's saying that Miss Nadia, there's so many things which your parents do in the day-to-day life, and it's not fair enough to not contribute or value them. What is the some special thing you learn about from your mother and your father, which you are practicing in your up-to-date life?
Yeah, well, a lot, especially in terms of like business from my dad. So from my dad, all about work and business ethics, and my mom, all about the heart and what's important, and my faith as well. So um, from my mom, it was really important to be able to express myself, to connect to my heart all the time, and to connect to God. And this is what she wants for us in the most at the end of the day. Um, and she allowed us to be completely open and very expressive and free, which gave me a lot of confidence in myself to be able to be outspoken and have great opinions. So this is something I really learned and valued from her. And from my dad, it's how he tough situations, how to deal and think beyond the contract, beyond just like there's a lot of tactics in business, but without understanding them as tactics, but like ways to handle certain situations, things to look out for, and again, to make sure that you're always giving and receiving into your business. So like the continuous like flow of energy, you have to give to everyone else around you to make sure that you receive. So I think this is one of the most important things, and how he handles himself as a businessman in business. It's not really about the business; it's how you handle yourself as within that success. So yeah.
Having said that, your mom and dad, I'm for sure they'll be very proud of you. Every parents, they always, and whatever you do, the success, also they don't express, but a smile on their face you will see, and then you say Alhamdulillah. So Miss Nadia, having said that, people have their own weakness and strength.
Yeah.
There's no one that who is perfectly strong except Allah Almighty. So what's your weakness and how you overcome that challenge? And what's your strength that you love to spread?
So I think my weakness is I don't like to be vulnerable, and I'm only vulnerable with people close around me. But I've been working. I work on myself all the time. So whatever I identify, I usually pay a lot more attention to. So I've been working on becoming better at being closer with everyone around me, including family members, including employees, and making sure that um, I don't shy away from it just because it might make me seem vulnerable, but it's actually a strength when you use it when you bring it forth as a strength. So when you flip it on its head, it can actually work really, really well for you. Uh, Surprisingly, when I use my weakness, it can become one of my biggest strengths.
That's also majority says that, yeah, for sure.
So yeah, being able to relate to people on a personal level, it's something I do um, very naturally when I'm open to it. So the more I'm open to it, the more it becomes my strength. So people love to get to know me as a person, and I can relate very, very quickly to people, and they're getting to know on that level. I think that's the memory that people leave with and hold. So I think that's probably the one of my bigger strengths. Management as well.
Perfectly well said. And here's our segment number one getting and that is knowing your persona. I swear I won't lie. I got very inspired. And Alhamdulillah, this is the time where we know that how the women are more stronger, not only in terms of the relationship, but also in terms of the venture. It could be any like business or you can say any field. Everyone is equal, man. This is how the generation goes on. So having said that, we'll take our short break and we'll move to our segment number two, one of my favorite, you can say this and that, where we will see Miss Nadia's connectivity with you all, your how the things are and how's her thought and your thought is getting matched up or no. Welcome back after a short break. We are in conversation with Miss Nadia Shah and we are starting our segment number two, that is this and that. Now, Miss Nadia, in this and that, I would like to know what's your thought and what do you think the youth think about the same thing. Okay. So I would like to know, being into the hospitality, people think to move towards the fast food. What's your call, whether they need to select the fast food or the health food? What do you think about it? Definitely healthy. And I think the youth today actually do believe that as well. I think that in schools they're doing a really good job educating everybody on what needs to be the move forward. So I'm sure that they're doing great. Great. So, having said that, these days people are more health conscious. They say they do pound of cheat meal. So, do you agree to that concept, or what's your call on this? I mean, I can't say that you can just put it down to that because cheat meal comes with a specific diet type, but there's so many different diets and types that can go out there. So if it works for you, good. Okay. So people say that I'm on a diet and they follow the entire regime, so-called of techniques. But then later on you see that no, morning they do gym workout, evening they have all the kind of food. And what's your call? Is it a proper way or no? Or if you should restrict yourself? Again, I think everything works differently for different people. So it's really like we're not trying to cheat our mentality. We're trying to overcome our mentality. So if it promotes change for you and it's something that works and it's sustainable, then that's good. There's no right and wrong. But if it's not working out for you, you need to do something different. You need to really look at what, because all of our minds are different. What works for you is not going to work for me, right? Exactly. Having said that, as you stated earlier that you are from the Asia. Yeah. And you moved to Ireland and now you're in Dubai. Yeah. So much of influence of the culture you have. So what's the more positive you feel and how will this help the youth of having a mixed culture? I really believe in mixing more and more because one of the biggest things that's really important that we forget is we're all one, this entire world. So if you believe
think that we're all one, then you will have no problem mixing, integrating, or doing anything. There's nothing, no, there shouldn't be any difference between someone from another country, or where they're from or where they're raised, and you. So we're all equal and we're all together. And we should, the more we mix, I actually feel the more beautiful we become. And internally and externally, you learn about another person's culture, being open to other cultures, other people, other nationalities, other religions, like to learn. I think in Islam also it's really important to learn. Knowledge and education is huge. So I don't think you can do that in any other way. And also travel, even in Islam, is something that is taught to us as something that makes you more successful. So it stops you from seeing from such a narrow-minded point of view. So you absolutely should be wholeheartedly open to exploring.
Traveling. You should explore because this is how you will know the culture and then you can influence and you can learn a lot. Having said that, Miss Nadia, in Asian we have a stigma कि बेटी को पढ़ाओ, शादी करवा दो, that's it. They should not grow more. What's your call in this kind of concept and what's your advice to other
I
youth?
think it's that we do that because it's just from fear. You want to protect your own and keep it to yourself. But even I learned in business and in personal life, when you protect something so much, you stop it from growing, right?
Yeah.
So you're not able to. What if you expose two people with the exact same, with two different options, same type of person, one person who goes and explores and one person who never change anything, you'll see the difference in the mind and the mentality and what's the other can achieve versus them. I feel like it's restricting, and because it comes from a place of fear, it's not the thing that we should be looking for. Also in Islam, you have to remember that our prophets were not necessarily where we are from, or they all mixed, and there wasn't any issue with that. So why did we all of a sudden bring this into stop ourselves from doing that? Why do we feel we're better than the next? There's another. This is attached to it as well. Is that we feel that we're better than somebody else. Oh, I could never marry them, or I could never mix with such and such because I'm better. This is not what's in Islam. So we're taught to all be equal and to treat someone the way you would want to be treated. So by saying that you cannot marry somebody outside, you're also saying that either maybe they're less than you or they're not up to the right mark, or you're creating that barrier. So I feel like that's not appropriate either.
Education is a very important factor. You think, is it education still important? Having said that, to go to complete education, or because some are they drop out and they're successful business. So what's your call on this?
I feel like education is really important, but education is not only what's taught in school. So
Yeah.
education is everything, including, as I said, traveling, meeting new people, understanding. There's so many different forms of education. It's not just by the book. Some people are not good at learning by heart, and some people are far better at doing with their hands. And there's so many different forms. So the more you're exposed to, the I think the more rich you'll become in that. So even in a lot of places of education, Islam is not taught, right? But does it mean it's less valuable or it's not important? So Islam is important, Quran is important, all of these things. And you have to educate. Some people don't learn by reading. Some people learn by reciting. Some people have picture memory. Some people have emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is probably one of the better and best intelligences, because when you can reach someone's heart, you can achieve anything with that person. And this is actually through Islam, is when you reach them through their heart, like they convert or they completely change their lives. When you care about something, you will change something rather than trying to change it, which never happens because you don't feel it in your heart. So emotional intelligence is one of the highest forms of intelligence, but that's not taught in school. So it's not about literature, it's not about degrees, it's not about that. They are very valuable, they are important, but it's not the be all and end all. Absolutely not.
Well said. Having said that about education, Miss Nadia was one of the good student, very good student, and we came to know about her performance in the school. So, how was it being a so bright student, and then coming to the youth, facing the reality? How was the different concept for you? In that field, there are many of them goes to the same challenge.
You don't know what you want, right? And this is another form of education, is learning about yourself. So I feel like that's something again missing in traditional education in schools, is we don't get to learn about ourselves. So it's hard to take the next step to know what I want to do for my future. I studied fine art, but I did nothing. 5 years of studying fine art, I did nothing in art. I did what I knew better, which was what I understood from my dad, and I enjoy that. Like always suggest to get to know yourself through whatever method, like whether you finish high school and now you want to go to college, or whatever way you um, trying to figure out your next steps. As long as you're always trying to work on yourself and figure out what you want and what you want to do and learn more about you, I think you'll be successful in your next steps. So whether that you decide then to go to uni or go and take a full-time job, that'll be what will help you to decide what's best for you.
Well said, and this is how about this and that where things on her point of view could reach to the youth, and I'm sure many of the youth will definitely say that yeah, that's you can correlate that people try to appear in different phase. I mean to say that they come in new different form of phase, but then the reality is different. Have you encountered such people? Because the youth always encounter such people, and they emotionally invest on this.
Yeah.
So, as a business point of view, also you have been into the sales.
Yeah.
What's your call on this?
I mean, that happens everywhere you go. People don't always show their true face or true their color or their true intentions, but I think like you can never base anything on anyone or anybody, anything external other than yourself. You just have to make sure that you maintain your integrity, because at the end of the day, when when we pass on from this life, we're only judged on our own actions and our own intentions. So it really doesn't matter what they did, as long as you just don't have to let it affect you. You can choose that. Yeah, you just have to worry about yourself. So it's okay.
You know, people who are going through it, we would say definitely that be strong yourself and choose the correct person, because when you emotionally invest in some of these things, it not only affects you but also the circle around you.
Yeah.
So make sure that this you learn from it and you grow and be a better person. So with that note, Miss Nadia, we are ending our segment number 2, this and that. It was wow, the top wow, I would say. So we'll take a short break and we'll move to our IC rapid fire, where we will know more about her persona from All My Days with Khwahish, only on Let's Chat. Welcome back after a short break. We are in conversation with Ms. Nadia Shah, and we are moving to our segment number 3. IC segment, I would say, rapid fire. So, Ms. Nadia, in this rapid fire, we'll ask you so many questions. You need to answer very fastly without thinking. What comes in your mind?
Okay.
That's it. So, shall we start?
Sure.
Okay. My first question is, where do you see yourself after 5 years?
I see myself living in different countries with a few different houses and multiple different businesses at the same time with more kids.
Inshallah. What's your first job?
My first job? Oh, I think I did a 3-month internship in an accounting firm.
What do you don't like people saying about you?
What do I not like? That I'm judgmental.
Whom did you text last?
You.
There's a story behind that. What ways were you afraid as a child?
Not too many things. I thought I was very brave as a kid, actually.
Wow, that's good. What's your hidden talent apart of being hospitality?
I'm very creative, so being good with colors, very good with colors.
That's great. Work or play? What do you prefer?
Sorry, work or play? Play.
Okay. Love or friendship? What do you prefer?
Love.
Money or happiness? What do you prefer?
Happiness.
Food or exercise? What do you prefer? That's hard.
Oh, that's really hard for me. I can't choose.
Oh, that's not a big thing. What? See, here's the rapid fire. What motivates you the most?
What motivates me the most?
Oh, you're thinking. That's
yeah.
not. Do you believe on second chance?
Yes.
Okay. How do you cope up with hardship?
God.
What is the kindest thing ever have someone told you?
That I look beautiful in hijab.
MashaAllah. Do you prefer social life or to be exposed at how the things are, or to be self?
Self is more important, but I enjoy social.
That's good. What is the best thing have you ever done for your family so far?
Um, I've done a lot of great things, but I think the most important is the support.
You need to call right now, 3%, and you will say that, hey, I'm in the Let's Chat. Your time starts now.
No, answer is studying. My husband. Okay, next person. Oh, this is Jamila. Jamila, you're on loudspeaker, and I'm on a podcast show with Huesh, and we have a segment called Let's Chat. You want to chat with me? Yes, but I'm right now with people.
Okay, thank you so much, Jamila.
It's called Huda. She's sweet. Hey, Assalamu alaikum. I'm on a show with Huesh called Let's Chat, so I wanted to chat with you. Are you ready? Called what? Let's Chat. You're a best friend.
Thank you so much to answer, dear. We are in a podcast and we ask her to call three of her close ones. So who will answer? Then she will be in a hamper. So thank you so much for answering.
Thanks,
Okay, thank you.
I'll
Okay.
share with you. Iman made me answer the phone. Oh, amazing. This is my daughter.
Okay.
Ala? It's Carl Purcell. Oh, sorry, wrong number. I pressed the wrong one. Hello. Hey, Hoda, how are you? I'm good, how are you? I'm on a show called Let's Chat. You want to chat with me? Just say yes.
Thank you so much, Huda, to answer the call. Okay. We are ending our segment number 3, that's rapid fire. I hope you loved it.
Yeah.
And we are moving to our last segment. We'll take a short break. Welcome back after a short break. We are moving to our last segment, that is All My Days with Khwaish. So how did you feel and what's your Khwaish you want to get it fulfilled as soon as possible?
My wish to be able to support my parents and make sure that they have the next few years that we go on a holiday away together. Actually, that would be a great one.
That's good. And how did you feel with All My Days?
Very good. It was a great segment, a great session, and I really enjoyed getting to know you.
So Miss Nadia, there's a small hamper and I hope you love it. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, Know the Destiny Hope. Follow us on Instagram, Let's Chat with Khwaish. And follow up on our TikTok page with All My Days with Khwaish podcast. And we'll be back again next week with another persona only on this platform. Till then, it's me signing out. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.